Alright, hey guys, this is GS Amplifier. Ako pa isang shoutcaster para sa Pro Gaming Series, which is the premier league of the Philippines for League of Legends. And I'm back with another VOD review. This VOD review is going to be the Week 10 game between NAGA Esports and Explicit. So, konting context lang. Yung NAGA Esports, this is a best of two. And then, na-default win yung NAGA Esports kasi may na-late na isang Explicit member. So they won the first round by default, and then this is the second game between Explicit and NAGA Esports. NAGA Esports is currently, well, at this point, 6 points na sila in the standing of the PGS, which means they were around one more win, and they would become tied at first place with Celestial. Meanwhile, Explicit, though, only has 1 point, so they're really at the bottom of the standing together with Infused Esports. So, obviously, NAGA yung may upper hand dito. Explicit will be the underdog of this game. And the reason I'm picking a VOD review for this game is because it was very even for a long time throughout the game. And that's quite a surprise kasi if I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure NAGA practices a lot. And they've been practicing very consistently. They got GM Kairu, as part of their support staff, and they're all very mechanically skilled on paper, all of the members. Meanwhile, Explicit, they're definitely new to the PGS, although they have a couple of members who have been here for a while. For example, si Avarisha, dati siyang top 1 challenger, and then he became part of J2 Esports Betrayal before they disappeared last split. And last split. And the Neep used to be part of NAGA Esports. So these two have been around for a while, but the others, they're a bit new to the PGS. So we're here to look at how exactly, paano nga ba naging even yung game nito kung medyo obviously may upper hand talaga yung NAGA Esports. So alright, let's take a look at the game. So first they lock in Shrundle. Let's take a look at the bans first. So for the bans, they ban Alistar, Gangplank, and Poppy. So Alistar is obviously an obvious ban here. He's been picked of sobrang dami ng picks dyan throughout all of the regions. Heavy priority support, offers so much tankiness, offers engage, offers peel, offers everything, almost everything. And Neep, mahilig talaga yung mag-Alistar. So obviously kung mataas yung priority pick sa isang champion at mahilig gumamit yung kabilang team ng champion na yun, you might as well take it away. Kasi si Badger doesn't really play Alistar, so walang mawawalan sa NAGA. So they decide to ban Alistar. Gangplank is still very highly banned along with Rise. I think they're one of the top 2 bans consistently sa lahat din ng ibang region. Sobrang lakas pa rin ni Gangplank. Scales well into late game. Pati si Rise ganun din. Early game isn't so hard, and then you get to scale into late game, makaka 1v1 sa'yo. So these are still heavily banned. Poppy, ang taas din surprisingly ng pick rate niya, especially in top lane. She's been picked quite a lot and can flex also to support and even jungle. I think Rain overplayed Poppy in jungle recently. So yeah, that's another understandable ban. Fiora is being banned. This one's not so banned anymore in other regions, pero siguro in this context, pwede siyang i-ban kasi Suzaku is very mechanically skilled, and compared to Ikaros, he's better. So taking away a carry like Fiora and also Rise in the top lane would help XHG reduce the carry power if ever NAGA decided to make Suzaku the carry of the team this game. Gragas, according to Neep, mali daw to. Nag-misclick daw si Ikaros with the bans. He was supposed to ban Graves, but ended up banning Gragas. So that's a very big difference. Gragas is never really banned anywhere, and is also not as picked anywhere. So it's a huge loss on the ban, sadly, just because of a misclick na walan kayo ng napaka-importante na ban on Graves. So obviously, it's taken. So those are the bans. So for picks, Naga's able to lock in Shrundle first. Obviously, kahit na-nerf na siya ng patch 6.21, malakas pa rin siya in either top support or jungle. It's a very good flex pick. It provides you with disengage gamit yung pillar niya. And it in the top lane in jungle, it can reduce yung pagkatanki na kalaban mo because of his subjugate. So it's still a very useful pick, and it's a flex pick. So obviously mahirap siya i-counter kasi hindi alam na kalaban kung saan lane siya or saan role siya mapupunta. So after this first pick, XHG grabs Tahm Kench and Corki. These two are good lock-ins. Tahm Kench is also very heavily banned in other regions. Ang lakas ng split push potential niya. He can flank. He's very tanky. Nakakainis pa rin talaga yung devour niya to take away an enemy for a long time during team fights. Tahm Kench's ability to zone out carries is also very strong. And makikita natin yun sa game na to kung ganong kalakas mag-zone out or mag-push away ng carry si Tahm Kench. So this is a good lock-in. Corki is also a flex pick for mid and AD carry. Although I've been seeing a lot of play on Corki in the mid lane. Kasi ang lakas talaga na burst niya. Works well with Thunderlord's Decree. Tapos yung package niya, his new package offers so much team fight and dive potential. So Corki's a good pick now. So this is pretty good first two picks coming in from XHG. And then from the next two on Explicit, from Naga, you get Graves and Lucian. So Graves is obviously very heavily picked in jungle in the other regions. So this is a very good take. It's just very strong. The damage is insane. Ang lakas ng wave, ang lakas ng jungle clearing niya. He sustains so well in the jungle kasi he can knock back the creeps and just keep himself away from any damage. Lucian is also a strong pick right now. He's a very strong lane bully. Does really well with wave clear as well, which Naga could use in their comp. So malakas na pick din to. So it's a nice next two picks. Next for Explicit, they decide to take Braum and Elise. So for these next two picks, it's a bit Neep is not exactly the most experienced Braum player. He admitted it himself. Maybe they were looking for disengage and peel, but honestly I don't think they needed it kasi they had Valkyrie on Corki, so he could escape pretty easily. They already had pretty good frontline from Tahm Kench. I think yung mas ipe-prefer ko sa comp na to would be a better engaged support. Maybe someone like Nautilus or something like that. Yung mahirap kasi tinanggal si Alistar. Neep would have taken Alistar without a doubt. But because he couldn't get Alistar, Neep doesn't play Thresh either. And I guess they wanted more frontline. Maybe they should pick Nautilus instead. Kasi makikita natin as the draft goes on, they don't have a really solid primary engage tool. So I think there should have been you could have taken a better support or a better top laner, but they decided to take it. And then Elise. Elise is obviously still good. She provides a lot of lane pressure, so malakas pa rin talaga siya. Her burst is insane. And she can definitely meet Graves in terms of damage kapag dating sa ganking. So this is still a very strong, heavily priority pick even in other regions along with Rek'Sai and obviously Graves. So for the last two picks of Naga to round out their comp, they get Malphite and Victor. Malphite, ang dami ng beses nag-Malphite si Suzaku. It seems like Naga always wants him to be yung, Malphite. The engager, the initiator, the frontliner. So this is a pretty comfortable pick, I guess, for Suzaku. And then they give Daigo the hyperscaling AP Victor. This one, hindi masyadong nilalaro ni Daigo. Although Daigo is very mechanically skilled. So obviously, I'm sure he'd do fine on Victor. So this rounds out their composition. And then both are still quite picked. More Victor than Malphite. And then for the last one, they grab... for XHG, the last one is a Lulu. Manonotice natin sa team composition ng Explicit, parang nakukulangan ka ng damage sa late game. There's no hyperscaling carry, but you do get a lot of mid-game damage siguro with the Corki and maybe some bits and damage from Tahm Kench, Elise, and Lulu. So definitely they would fall off late game. Mas maganda yung late game damage ng Naga with the Victor. So yung maganda ng sinabi ko rin sa game na to, yung maganda sa Naga, they have nice damage all throughout. Meron silang Lucian and Graves which will do a lot of damage sa early to mid game. Meron silang late game with the Victor. Meron silang engage potential with the Malphite ult. Meron silang disengage with the Trundle Pillar. So it's a very balanced comp. maganda yung wave clear nila, maganda yung team fight nila. So this is a pretty nice, well-rounded composition. For the side of Explicit, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, they don't really have a nice primary engage tool. Yung pang-engage na nila would be a flank by Tam Kench, or an ult by Braum, or a cocoon by Elise. All of those are unreliable, so kaya wala silang reliable engage. Their early game is okay. Obviously, they want to play it safe. They want to make a lot of action from early to mid-game. Kasi if they don't, they will fall off slightly during the late game compared to the Victor. And without any engage, NAGA, sila yung mas madali yung makakagawa ng opportunity yung NAGA to engage in fights and hopefully end the game for themselves kapag dumating yung late game. So, Explicit would really want to act as soon as possible from early to mid game. Yung maganda nga lang dito sa ng Explicit is insane split pressure si Tam Kench at walang makaka 1v1 sa kanya sa comp na to. So, if they decide to go 4-1, yung pwede nilang gawin, Tam Kench would split push somewhere else, and then the other 4 members can just keep poking with a Lulu and Corki, keep sieging on a tower, and then disengage with Braum ult and Wild Growth. But we'll see throughout the game that that's not exactly what happens. But yeah, let's just jump straight into the game to see how it goes out.
Up for blood, talagang this is the dream for them, and they're giving it their all. Big shoutouts to the players of Celestial Esports leading the group stage here at the Pro Gaming Series.
Yeah, so kung titignan natin the first one,
Yeah, so let's see what happens. Wait, let's mute me.
because Corky's
Okay, maybe let's speed this up a bit para hindi masyadong mabagal. Yeah. Okay, so wait. May pause pala. Wow, tagal ng pause. Yeah, so standard start from all of the lanes. Walang naganap na lane swap. Understandable naman yan kasi there was. NAGA tried to anticipate nga pala yung lane swap. They were anticipating that Hall and Neep would dodge the 2v2 kasi Lucian is obviously a lane bully. Compared to Corki, there's a lane bully. Braum doesn't provide any sustain. Wala siyang pang-heal. So they were, NAGA was thinking baka mag-lane swap yung si Corki tsaka Braum at pumuntang top. Pero they didn't do that. So, NAGA gets the 2v1. In the end, yung mangyayari dito, there's a switching invade. So mag-invade si Graves. You can see on the minimap that Graves actually invades here together with Suzaku. Since sila yung nag-initiate na lane swap, obviously they would double jungle. So from blue buff, didiretso sila sa red buff, and the same thing happens for Explicit. They mirror it and they go for the double jungle as well. No. They don't. Kasi yung nangyari, since Explicit didn't know the lane swap was happening, Braum decides to just adjust and help Elise at the jungle. Ikaros yung kawawa dito talaga, I remember during this early game, kasi he doesn't get to get any farm since 2v1, so na-push back siya sa lane niya, and then he sees that red buff is being taken, so there's really nothing he can do. He's forced to just sit back and miss quite some CS and experience throughout the game. And so that's the early game. They decide to adjust magti 3-man push dito yung Explicit to try and respond to the 4-man push of NAGA at top. So obviously in terms of yung early game, lamang yung NAGA because they put Ikaros behind in EXP. They get an earlier tower because they're 4 men. There's a 4-man push at top. And obviously, napalakas ng clear ni Graves this early on in the game. So NAGA's in the lead with tower gold with EXP. They put behind Ikaros. And then, wow, they actually decide to push the top tower all the way. But Explicit, since alam nilang may 4 na tao sa taas, they take the Dragon, which is common sense for pro players to trade off, at least para man lang may makuha sila. I found it kind of weird na medyo tinodo ng NAGA yung push sa top. Yung pwede kasi nilang gawin is to have the wave bounce back para makapag-farm pa rin si Lucian near to his tower. But they decide to just push the wave all the way and allow Ikaros to farm, which is weird. Pero they get the Rift Herald, So that's good. We'll just see who they decide to give it to. And they decide to give it to Lucian to continuously push the top lane. That's quite interesting. Yeah. But I guess they couldn't have given it to anyone else except Trundle or the Graves, who could push in another lane. But yeah, it's probably better to give it to Lucian. Actually, they didn't even need to take Rift Herald in the first place. They could have had the wave bounce back to them in their tower and then just had the Lucian farm and farm and farm. So XHG decides to respond. Yung ginawa nila, since 2v1 to, they decided to leave Corki alone. Makaka-farm naman siya safely. So they could allow Neep to help Icarus here at the top lane. And wow, everyone decides to go top lane. And it's in XHG's loss, if I remember. Obviously, mas malakas ang damage ng Naga at this point kasi may Graves tsaka Lucian sila. So, yeah, that was a bit of a waste of time from Explicit. Lulu could have just stayed at mid and farmed, and they could have just frozen the wave. Neep and Icarus could have just farmed top. But they decided to combat the Rift Herald push and create some pressure, but nothing happened. So at least nakapag-farm, yung nangyari kasi, since Naga didn't push back the wave, Icarus was able to catch up in CS. So that's the downside of pushing the wave that hard early on in the game, plus the Rift Herald. So Icarus was able to catch up. And kung titignan natin yung CS, Corki is actually up in CS compared to Lucian. 54 to 39. So yung pag-push ng wave sa top, even though they were able to get an early tower gold from the tower, because they didn't bounce back the wave, medyo naging even na rin yung CS. Kasi kahit medyo behind si Icarus at top, Corki was able to CS at bot and get a lead. So yeah, that's the disadvantage about pushing the wave at top that hard. And then at this point, let's see what happens. That's Naga pushing in top lane, still trying. Kasi that's one trend, no? If you take out that lane, an outer turret, you can take full advantage of yung side na yun. So for Naga, since they were able to take this turret, they can establish vision control here. Pwede nilang kunin yung red buff paulit-ulit. And then, yeah. So that's one thing you guys can do if you play a game. Kung makakuha kayo ng outer turret, lagyan nyo ng vision yung enemy jungle so that you can get all of the camps. Pwede yung i-delay yung levels ng enemy farm or enemy jungler. And, you can capitalize on your advantage. And there's going to be disengage there. Corki decides to go back to top kasi na-push na nila yung lane. Yeah, so they decided to push bot and then engage very, very hard on top lane. There's a package here from Hall, but I don't think he's going to use it to dive. Yeah, so they decided to push bot lane and then push really hard at top. There's the culling. And Suzaku is just farming at bot. And Daigo almost gets the kill. But because yung top lane push na yun was actually very awkward, they decided to just back and then go mid. Yeah. So there's no more package from Hall. He's forced to back out. That was weird, no? That was a bit weird of a push. They're forced to TP. They decide to re-swap the lane swap. So magiging 2v2 na ulit sa top lane. The AD carries will face each other at top and Icarus will fight Suzaku again at bot. So he can farm again at this bot lane since the tower is not yet out. And then Corki will be the one to farm at this top lane. So let's see what happens. Naga starts to set up for Dragon. And let's see. Everyone's starting to do a Dragon Dance now. Akarane gets the Scuttle. Kasi mas maaga nakapush si Suzaku sa bot lane, so they were able to put vision faster. But XHG is the one who starts it. Okay. With this team fight, I'm gonna have to slow this down to normal speed. Kasi I believe this is the interesting team fight. Okay. No, yeah. So XHG loses that one. Okay, let's just rewind that just so we see what happens. Okay. So, Naga is already setting up Dragon. May vision advantage sila. Their top lane is pushing in their favor. Their bot lane is pushing against them, but that's okay. They decide to push in mid and then set up vision. They get the scuttle. Now, ang layo ni Hall. And Suzaku's also far. Lucian is also far. But they're all moving up to Dragon. XHG is able to put down some vision, but they don't have... Makita natin na wala sila vision outside the Dragon Pit. So, medyo nakakatakot ng Dragon na to actually. They didn't even pull yung Dragon. What you guys can do if you are on red side, yung pwede nyo gawin, atakihin nyo yung Dragon na isang beses. And then have the Dragon move here. You have them move here so that it's harder for the jungler here to steal it. So you can move it out. Para hindi kayo ma-lock in dito sa pit na to, you can move the Dragon outward. But XHG didn't do that. They decided to just really rush it and take it as fast as possible. But what happens here is nag-TP si Malphite on this side. So they're automatically, if you can see, wait, let's try and draw this one. So you can see XHG is here, and now they're being squished. They're kind of being locked in here. Kasi Malphite teleported here. And now they're squished in this very awkward spot. Nakita nyo, lahat sila nakalock in dito. So it's actually a very bad spot. This is what happens when late kayo mag-set para sa Dragon. You weren't able to set vision anywhere. Hindi nyo nakikita tuloy kung saan magti-TP yung top lane nila. And now you're in this very, very awkward position where you don't know what to do. And you set yourselves up for a three-man ult from Suzaku. So, let's see. Yeah, watch Suzaku. He just gets a 3-man ult really freely. Daigo's free to hit around. There's the free culling. And the positioning is really nice because free hits all the way from Luxuria, just smacking everyone. So that's what happens when you guys don't set up for Dragon with proper vision. You get flanked by a Malphite and then you lose. So we can go back. Fast forwarding. And now, obviously, Naga's in the lead with a good amount of gold. Tapos makuha pa nila itong mid and bot turret because of what happened there. Yun na nga, kasi they had that weird push at top and it didn't work out. So Icarus was left to defend bot. They couldn't push out the bot wave. Basta, it was pretty messy. Corki could have just stayed at bot lane, pushed out the bot wave. Tapos pwede nilang iset yung Dragon at that point in time. But things just got pretty messy. The surprising part is that Explicit decides not to retake this Dragon. I mean, yung Naga. They don't decide to defend this Dragon. They decide to take what is looking like their second Rift Herald. So, yeah. That's a bit weird. Yeah, whoa! yeah, they could have just... Okay, they traded a double kill for Dragon. Wait, I want to see. So, yung weird dito, they should have just left. They were very low. So, sa mga nagda-Dragon dyan, kapag nakakuha kayo na ng DR and you're all low, just take your advantage and leave. What happens here is they decide to stay really long, they get rushed, and they give away a double kill to a hyper-scaling AP carry. So, you guys could have just taken Dragon and ran away, or you guys could have just taken Dragon tapos mag-defend sila ng mid-turret nila. But that's not what happened. They give away double kill to a carry, they give away their mid lane, and there you go. So, ang dami na walan actually sa Explicit at this point in the game. 3,000 gold lead, 102 AD carry of Naga, 2-0 AP carry, and yeah, 20 CS lead for the mid laner. So, ang sakit na ni Daigo at this point in the game. But we'll see how Explicit responds to this. Yun. There's Akarain being a bit too... He's overextending a bit. Since wala silang vision sa river. And Icarus just tries to defend this top lane. Rift Herald went to Suzaku. I think they should have just given the Rift Herald to someone from bot lane para ma-push yung outer turret. But in any case, obviously getting an inner turret is still okay. Yeah, but Icarus is able to defend this. I think it would have been better to take out the bottom turret with the Rift Herald. and push it out so that you could take all of the outer turrets already. But in any case, you didn't even need it because walang damage yung explicit. They have so much utility from Braum, Lulu, Elise, and Tamkench, but they don't have enough damage from Hull. And there's the ult from Icaros. And they're trying to force an engage at top, which won't work kasi wala silang vision, wala silang pang-engage. That's exactly what I'm saying. Wala silang reliable engage, hindi reliable yung ult ni Tamkench, so they can't do anything. They can't engage at bot lane either. There's a TP, but they felt it coming. There's a stun, there's another TP. So Zaku will just kill. So this is the hard part now. Explicit gets a bit desperate to make moves here. Nakita natin, ang daming na burn na cooldowns and TPs. All of them to no avail kasi walang reliable engage. So they can't make a move with their composition. Honestly, yung pwede lang gawin dito ng Explicit is to set up very defensive wards around their base. Tapos ipa-farm si Icaros and then wait for their power spikes. Hintayin yung ma-farm si Icaros on the Tamkench. Hintayin yung Trinity Force, etc. power spike ni Hull. And then that's when you go for the 1-4 split push. That's when you start putting vision on towers you want to push. Pabayaan nyo si Tamkench to push a lane and then have the other 4 members split push somewhere else, like I said in the pick and ban. But that is going to take a while. 4,000 gold lead for NAGA. Dragon's coming up in 1 minute and 20. And if I remember correctly, NAGA yung talo dito. We'll see how that happens. Daigo! How does that even happen? Let's see how that was set up. No vision from Daigo. He just gets caught. Straight out caught. For no reason. Didn't even have to be there. No vision around the river. He was on an unsafe side. Naga's vision. Okay, wait. Let's move back. So Daigo, there's no turret. Wait, there's no turret here. Let's try it. So walang turret dito. Whoa. Wait. So wala silang turret dito. Tapos wala dito yung vision nila. They have no wards here. And Daigo stays on this side. He should have just been hovering back and forth to wave clear on this side of the map. So that way, hindi siya mahuhuli. Knights gets an easy cocoon and then they just collapse and he dies. So that's what you guys can do. Kung magsiset kayo na vision, gamitin nyo. You guys can... Daigo could have stayed here, hindi siya makakakun, and if Knights was here, makita niya kasi may vision sila on this side. But yeah, Daigo gives away a kill with that small mistake, and yeah, that's what happens. So he gets caught, he dies, there's a shutdown gold onto Avarisha, and then XHG goes away with that kill. Dragon happens in 1 minute. Let's see what happens. Okay, so they're just pushing out the waves. Obviously, wala masyadong gumagawa yung Explicit. Kasi like I said, naghihintay lang talaga sila ng power spike. Something interesting here, no? NAGA decides to take their 3rd Rift Herald. I think this is the... I'm not sure if this is the first, but this is the first I've seen na 3 Rift Herald yung kinuha sa isang game sa PGS. So that's a very interesting advantage by NAGA. They're able to get 3 Rift Heralds. So that's how you can tell na sobrang lamang talaga sila sa early to mid game in their composition kasi hindi maka-wave clear itong si Icaros. So they have full top lane advantage to just take as many Rift Heralds as they can. Dragon is up though. Okay, so the thing about them taking Rift Herald is that hindi nila nagamit. So Akarain takes a Rift Herald when there's 30 seconds left on Dragon. Usually you want to set up yung Dragon before 30 seconds pa, like 1 minute, 30 seconds before. But they decide to take Rift Herald, and then they're pressured to take Dragon immediately after. So hindi sila nakapag-set ng vision for Dragon because they took Rift Herald, and then they won't even get to use this Rift Herald because now they have to set up for Dragon and then go for a Dragon fight. So see, Akarain takes a Rift Herald, but he never gets to use it, and Icaros gets to free push top and then TP bot if he wants to. Now they're only starting to set up vision. And XHG already took Scuttle. XHG already has a ward. So the Rift Herald was really low return of investment. But NAGA ends up here. And take a look at their stance. Now, they're in an awkward position kasi kitang-kita silang lahat ng explicit at this fight. Let's slow this down. So they're all visible to explicit. Top lane is pushing in explicit's advantage. There's a ward here for a TP. There's a ward there for a TP. Everyone is here. There's the TP coming in. And let's see what happens. Okay, let's rewind. Okay. So let's take a look at the situation here. So, gaya na sinabi ko, because they took Rift Herald, hindi sila nakapag-set ng vision around Dragon. So if you look at the wards here, there's 1, 2, 3 all around the Dragon Pit, and then there's one past the pit here. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, there's a ward here. So they have vision all over Dragon. NAGA decides not at all to use the Rift Herald. So, they should have been more clear with their decision. Dapat, kung kukunin nila yung Rift Herald, they might as well have used it and pushed top all the way para ma-pressure yung explicit. But what they did was they took Rift Herald and then took a risky Dragon. So, you have to decide. It's either you take, what would have been a better option was you take Rift Herald and then take a turret, so to trade for Dragon. Or, you don't take Rift Herald, you set up for Dragon, and then you take Dragon with a better team fight. But, that's not what NAGA did. They took Rift Herald, they didn't use it, they went for a Dragon fight, and then they lost. So, bad decision making there. Well, not bad, but questionable. It was questionable decision making by NAGA. So, yung mangyayari dito is they have a very awkward... There's the TP coming from Icarus, and the 2 carries here, you'll see they're out of the pit. And the 3 remaining with Luxuria, who by the way is one of the main damage dealers, is locked in the pit. Neep locks them in with CC, and we'll see Icarus zone out these 2 carries. That's the power of a Tam Kench. Kapag nakalapit siya sa team nyo, and Trundle is not there to pillar them away, Tam Kench, Icarus and Tam Kench will just zone these 2 out. So tanky, walang magagawa itong mga to, and they're just free. Their XHG Hall here is free. So let me put that down. Wait. Let me rewind that. There. So take a look at the setup here. So we'll see that in this case, Icarus is just zoning out the 2 carries here. Meanwhile, may tatlong nakalock in dito sa pit, and Hall is free hitting them. Walang maka-engage sa kanya. Everyone's locked in here, and this is just a really nice team fight set up for explicit that NAGA kind of set themselves up for. NAGA didn't have wards. NAGA didn't set up for this Dragon, so they pay for the consequences with their decision making. They lose despite the 4k gold lead, and this is how the team fight worked out. Icarus was able to zone yung main damage dealers ng NAGA, and Hall was free to free hit everyone in the pit. So it was a nice team fight for explicit, and yeah, that's what happened. So there, you just free hit, beautiful package, just lock them all in. The ult from Suzaku was useless, and they get a shutdown, and the Dragon on explicit side. So that brought back their momentum for the game. They were able to close the gap a bit at least, though 3,000 gold di pa rin siya. At least they were able to get Dragon. That's their 3rd Dragon now, by the way. So all this time na nakakuha ng Rift Herald yung NAGA, Explicit has been taking Dragons the whole time. And 19 minutes with 3 Dragons. They'll be getting 5th Dragon pretty soon. Yeah, so we already saw this. Just keep moving. Yeah, so we were able to see now Icarus is just zoning out the carries. And Knights just freely got a smite. Lands, takes the smite. Hall interrupts them all. And Akarain was outside of the pit that whole time, so he couldn't smite the Dragon even. Oh. Yeah, this was weird because we saw Daigo Akarain dead. I don't know how that happened. But they close the gap even more, and Explicit gets a better lead. Yeah. So that's the consequence of decision making, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have to be smart when you take your objectives. Set up properly around objectives. So now we reset the momentum, and what kind of configuration do they take? So everyone decides to go top. Walang objectives na pwedeng kunin dito. So at this point, it's actually good for Explicit kasi they can start doing the 1-4 now. Can they? Yeah. They can start taking the 1-4. Looking at the itemization, so there's a Abyssal on Suzaku. It helps Daigo kasi they're able to get the aura to reduce the MR of the enemy team. So malakas yung AoE fight with AP damage. And then they also, Malphite gets the Negatron Cloak para ma-reduce yung magic damage from everyone actually. From all of them. So it's pretty good itemization. There's a Frost Queen's Claim and Rod of Ages from Lulu. And yeah, everything seems pretty standard here. I'm waiting. I don't think it ever happens. Explicit's never able to 1-4 in this game. I don't know why, but they decide to use Corki to split push all the time. They could have just done the 1-4. It would have been better. But Corki is able to take this top lane, I think. Suzaku's actually there. No, they don't get it. So I guess Suzaku kasi could do pretty fine dueling Tam Kench. I guess Ikaru still has to farm a bit at this point to really scare Suzaku out of lane. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, things are really stale at this game. The Dragon's coming up to win 1 minute, so they might start to set up for this one. This will be another interesting Dragon fight. Let's see how it was set up. So Corki still just farming all the way at top. There's already a 50 CS difference here between Lucian and Corki. So obviously that's very good news for Explicit. Their top lane and their bot lane are out CSing their opponents. So they'll be able to catch up in itemization. Wow, double Doran's. Wait, was that right? Yeah, Hall bought another Doran's Blade. What? That's weird. What? 24-minute Doran's? Okay. Anyway. So let's see how the dragon set up. There's only 5 seconds. No one is setting up for this dragon. Actually, wait. Let's see if they did set up. Yeah, Knights was setting up at this point. Around 30 seconds before. He already put down a ward. And there's already good vision from Explicit. So they're really ramping up the dragons. Kasi alam nila yun yung advantage nila eh. If they're able to get 5th dragon, they really have a big potential to win this game. So they really invest in vision on dragon. And Akrane here is late to the party. He takes out the pink ward now. And okay, vision is actually even here. Yeah, vision is even here. No one got the scuttle. And let's see how this fight goes. Wait. Let's slow this down. Okay, so everyone again is locked inside the dragon pit. Let's see what happens. There's the flank with Tam. Oh no, not a flank, but Tam Kench rushes in, and there's another dragon steal. The smite game of Knights was on point in this game, huh? Whoa, the package. Wow, XHG actually won that fight. So let's see how it happened. So NAGA decides to rush. Yeah, NAGA decides to rush. And they all go into the dragon. They're all locked in. Knights is free to engage. This is such an awkward position. Where is Daigo? Daigo's here. Daigo's here, far away from all of his members. Knights is free. No one's zoning him out. He gets the smite for free. He gets the smite for free. And Daigo is being zoned out again. And this is just really awkward. Wow. There's the several man package. Although it was actually kind of awkward from Hall. He failed Valkyrie. Nag-fail siya. He was supposed to Valkyrie out. So he was gonna go in, go out, and then poke. But his Valkyrie failed. So he had to flash out. And then Luxuria flashes out. Pero even with this, doesn't matter. Daigo dies so early in the fight kasi na-zone out siya during that entire time. So again, it was just another awkward dragon fight from Naga. The problem is they keep setting it up late. So when they set it up late and they decide to go for Dragon, they just rush it. Like, guys, we're here. Let's rush it. Let's rush Dragon. Tapos yung nangyayari, nasa-zone out lagi si Daigo. XHG doesn't get any damage done onto themselves. And even with the lack of gold, and because Explicit was able to farm up and catch up already with the Corki and Tom Kench, nakapag-catch up na yung Explicit with Naga, and because Naga was all locked in, they get double packaged this game from the Corki, and yeah, that's what happens. So yeah, you can see, everyone's locked in and Daigo's here, zoned out the entire time. And good job by Neep to zone out Daigo, and they just get locked in here. So that's what happens. And at this point, the game is really even. Now we'll watch how they throw. Or we'll watch how they use their lead. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, at this point, everyone's just trying to wave clear. Yeah, they're all trying to manage their side waves, probably trying to set up for Baron. Hall finally gets this top turret. They're able to push it up, but Naga responds with a full mid. Icarus, what are you doing? You have no vision there. Okay. So he dies. Let's rewind a bit. So Hall is pushing, and everyone decides to hard dive Icarus. So that's good. Good job by Naga to take this. Icarus probably shouldn't have even been there. Pushing that far without vision in the river. I think he even saw that push coming. I just don't think ina-expect niya na totodo yung Naga na ganun sa kanya. So now I think Naga can get this turret in mid. Let's see. Do they get it? I think they do. Wow, they just keep pushing. And now Suzaku tries to take this lane. No, they don't get mid. Top is pushing in XHG's favor though. But they keep trying to push this mid and bot turret, since they do have the advantage in 2 lanes versus 1. Whoa, Icarus! Flanking without help. And Daigo gets caught out. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how Icarus lands straight up onto Daigo. Is in a really awkward position. Good flank by Icarus. He's able to devour Daigo and he dies. Daigo was too far up there. And let's just say that's not the first time that happened. Daigo has had several instances na he pushes up mid so far up, then he dies. And that's one mistake that he just tends to really make in some of his games. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens. And now Explicit responding with a setup on Baron. Will they get the kill here? Naga's being pushed out because excuse me. Naga's being pushed out to get a kill. And this is just awkward by Naga. They were able to get mid turret at least, pero na flank sila. The good part is Explicit was only able to get kills at that part, so they only got kills. No Baron taken. They gave away mid turret for free because Hall was busy pushing at top. At least they got the top outer turret. But in terms of gold, nothing is really lost. Dragon, 5th Dragon is coming up. This part of the game is extremely crucial for Explicit. But Naga is the one to take in first. Yung disadvantage kasi dito, when Naga decided to push in mid-turret, nawalan agad ng positional advantage yung Explicit. Now they have to keep pushing out mid. Ibig sabihin nun, they're late to set up for Dragon. So They weren't able to secure vision around this dragon pit. And finally, Naga's able to secure vision earlier. So they knew that this was the 5th dragon. They knew they had to take this, and Naga sets up properly for it with a mid lane turret push and then an early setup for dragon. So good job from them. Now let's see how the fight goes out. What's nice here this time is that mas maganda ngayon yung positioning ng Naga, because instead of them all being locked in this pit, it's now going to be this team versus this team clashing like that. And the advantage with this kind of setup is yung Naga in the form of Suzaku, yung may straight up reliable engage. So if you guys are going to clash in like from here to here, obviously Naga would have a pretty nice advantage kasi may pang-engage sila. So let's take a look at how it goes. Yeah, watch Suzaku just go up to them and then just knock 3 of them up. Luxuria gets a free, and Victor gets a free nice AoE damage. Hall is in the super. How did you even get there? Wait. Let's slow this down. Yeah, so we can see that this is a much nicer position from Naga kasi hindi sila nakalock in. Daigo and Luxuria. You see Luxuria go out here to try and zone out one of the carries. I think that was, yeah. So they get a free knock up. Daigo gets a free ult, and Luxuria gets a free ult. Hall dives in. Why? That was bad. So the main damage dealer is gone, and XHG lost. That's how they give away their 5th dragon. Sad. Yeah, so at this point, that was sad. Naga takes the dragon, and they are able to get Baron after. Knights tries to steal this one, if I remember correctly, pero he fails. It's a nice try. And he dies. Now they can start repushing. Explicit tries to do something, but they don't have their damage dealer there. And at this point, wala nang objectives na pwede makuha. So this is all about rotation. Rotational stuff. But Naga obviously has Barons, so they will push in and probably get a couple of towers. Yeah, so we can see they're now trying to push in bot turret and put in some vision. Obviously, they get this turret for free kasi may Baron na sila. And now they're trying to push in mid turret. Yeah, so they push in mid. But they can't get it kasi medyo maganda rin yung wave clear na explicit. They have the Lulu and the Corki to get to have pretty good wave clear, and they have the flank potential from Icarus with Tam Kench. Yung problema lang, this is when you wish you had Malphite on your team. Explicit doesn't have any form of engage that's reliable para makafocus sila sa carries ng Naga. So, no options. They just turtle all the way. Wave clear as much as possible. Don't lose a turret. And then wait for death. That's a problem when you don't grab a reliable engage on your team. They don't have a Nautilus in this game. They don't have a Leona. They don't have an Alistar. They don't have a Malphite. So they just allow themselves to get chipped by this Baron buff. They are too afraid to engage. And they're starting to fall off. Victor is obviously... Oh, they go for the clash. Wait. Okay. So, let's take a look at this clash. So, wala dito si Hall. So, they don't really have a lot of damage. The only point of this engage would be to save their turret. So, Neep decides to go full-on hardcore, even without a damage dealer. And he's able to lock up 2 of the carries, I think. Yeah, there's a signal. There's the spell, the Frost Queen's Claim. They lock up several carries. There's the Wild Growth combo. Hall is not there. Suzaku is teleporting. And it's a 4v5. Neep is locked up. He's not saved. Ooh, Akarain's gonna die. Oh, he lives. And now there's Hall. But there's the ult on Knights. So, yeah, the only point of that clash was to save their turret. Other than that, yeah. That's it. Delay the turret. And the Baron buff expired. So it was a good engage by Explicit. Good job by Neep, if he called that, to save the turret. So at this point, 7,000, around 6,000 gold lead from NAGA. But at least they were able to save their turret and get the kill. So good job from Explicit to delay. At least wala nakuha yung NAGA dun. Very, very good timing by Explicit to save their turret and waiting for the exact time na mag-expire yung Baron buff. So at this point, medyo na-reset nila yung momentum ng fight. And then, Dragon's being set up. So 40 seconds, because of the Baron buff, nahirapan yung Explicit to push up for this turret. So, they weren't able to set up for Dragon again. So NAGA is obviously just taking advantage kasi na-push lahat ng lane sa favor nila. They're able to set up for Dragon, prevent Explicit from getting this Dragon. And again, walang, oh no, Avarisha. So we can see here, this is I think the point where I said Explicit through. So walang vision dito yung Explicit. But Avarisha decides to be at bot lane for no reason. And he just straight up dies. There you go. He just dies. Didn't need to be pushing bot. He wasn't with any teammates. He just dies. And now, NAGA gets this 5th dragon. This would have been a much nicer fight if kung nandito si Avarisha. Because they would have had a wild growth. Icarus could have tried to zone in Daigo here and devour him and eat him up and stuff. But this fight, as we can see, doesn't go so well. Sayang, because there's no wild growth. No vision also. So NAGA obviously had the upper hand here. But Explicit tried. And they failed. 8,000 gold lead, and that's the 2nd dragon of NAGA. They're able to push in the turrets. They're able to get a turret. And now at this point, I'm pretty sure this game is over. Just to that. And Neep is gonna die. Wow, 2-man engage. Yeah. Neep didn't need to be there either. They had no vision. So they just lose. GG. So those are the highlights of the game that you guys. Let's go back. So, first of all, NAGA was obviously the better team. Explicit was the underdog, but NAGA and in the pick and ban phase nakita natin maganda yung pagka-balance ng composition ng NAGA. With their team, they were able to get nice engage with the Malphite, nice disengage with the Trundle, and then good damage dealers to cover out the entire game. On the other hand, yung Explicit, they were able to get damage only with Hull. Wala silang pang engage. They only had a lot of disengage with Lulu and Braum. They had no reliable engage. They decided not to take Nautilus or any... Naban yung Alistar on this side. So they couldn't have taken an Alistar somewhere here on their comp instead of Braum. But they didn't. And they didn't decide to get an engage on their first 2 picks either. So walang engage yung Explicit. They could have used that to have better team fights, pero in the end it didn't happen. And then NAGA made a lot of mistakes with the way they set up Dragon. Nakita na natin yung effect ng unclear and not so smooth decision making. Kahit may lead kayo, kung pangit yung decision making nyo, Explicit was able to really get a lot of good Dragon fights because of NAGA's mistakes. But eventually, yun, NAGA was able to, they were able to get that Baron with their team fight. And Hall made that really bad dive in. Never be that aggressive, honestly. You don't have to be forced to feel like you have to use the package if it's not going to be a good idea. Just hold on to it. So there, NAGA was able to build a good comp. They were able to eventually end the game. Explicit, props to them though for being able to perform this well. Kahit they lost morale from the first game na late ni si Knights, and they were the underdogs of this game. So props to them. And props to you guys for watching this. Thank you very much for watching my VOD review. Again, ako po si Amplifier, colorcaster for League of Legends. If you guys want more content, just let me know. Message me on. You guys will see here my Twitter and Facebook. Just follow me and let me know if you guys like the content or if you guys have any constructive criticism to give. I'm totally open. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.